Today, trees and shrubs are, of course, great for landscaping, but they can be very bad near transmission lines. In fact, it can be downright unsafe.
That's right. So today, the plant doctor, Melinda Myers, she's here. She's going to talk about this problem, how to keep your family safe, and all about that sunflower.
Oh,
that's right? What do you think?
That is great. We used to do a sunflower contest, and I met a teacher who said the year before kids started kindergarten, she'd give out sunflower seeds and told them when the plant grows and flowers, kindergarten starts.
Aww.
Well, one of the kids' flowers started a month before school. He woke up and said, "Okay, Mom, I'm ready to go."
Ready for school.
I wonder if that was Mrs. Bowden.
Maybe.
It could be. Well, that's the kind of plant or flower that gives people confidence because it can grow.
It does, and it's also great for pollinators, and it's a fun plant for all ages. We had a 93-year-old submit and win the contest. His grandson or granddaughter entered him, and he'd been growing sunflowers. They remembered their whole life. Grandpa always had sunflowers, and he had the mammoth ones like Mason did. And they bring in the birds, the squirrels, which sometimes we're a little annoyed with, but they're entertaining. You'll see hummingbirds and bees pollinating. So they're great plants for us to enjoy, but also good for our pollinators.
Okay. So what can we do right now? We're all thinking about our gardens. We had a little frost last week, so now we got to think about, you know, renovating existing perennials and things like that.
Right. So if you have, this is my mock-up perennial garden, since I couldn't bring the whole thing. So
works.
my perennial garden in a bag.
I
wanted to show some things we could do. So if your garden is struggling, but not bad enough to start over, obviously remove the weeds, any plants that are dead, and then we're going to top dress. So if you hand me that first bin.
Okay. Are those, by the way, weeds or
these are it's actually cat mint.
Look what we got, a power tool.
I know, that'll come in handy in a minute.
All right.
So we're going to top dress. That just means sprinkling an inch or two of compost over the soil surface. And research found if you do this every couple years, you really eliminate or greatly reduce the amount of fertilizer you need.
Okay.
And this will help improve the health of the soil, which then improves the health of the plants.
So it's like potting soil?
It's compost. So you've put all your dead plant debris, mix it up, let it decompose. So this is actually...
Can you buy it?
You can buy it in a bag. You can make it yourself. Good question.
So buy a bag of compost or make it.
Or you might want to order if you have a huge gardens. So we spread an inch or two over. Then here's where the power equipment comes in. And I won't turn it on because I might drill right through the table. But basically, this is an auger bit you can use for planting bulbs. But we're going to drill in between our plants that are struggling. This is going to help push the compost through, but it also aerates the soil, and that's so important for people gardening in the southeast Wisconsin where our soils are really heavy and poorly drained. You don't want to start over, it's not that bad, so fix the soil when the plants are in place.
Then you got a power tool that doubles for ice fishing.
Exactly.
Right?
This is a lot more comfortable in my book.
Yeah,
and then the last thing is top it off with those shredded leaves. We're going to have lots of leaves dropping from the trees. Shred them with your mower, mulch the soil. That will break down and improve the soil as well.
Raking leaves, it feels like the never-ending chore. Right now, do you need to keep removing leaves from your yard so it doesn't mold underneath, or is it okay to leave it?
You know, you could give them a couple of days. I use my mower, so I shred them with my mower. The only time I use a bagger is to collect the leaves so that I can either compost them, spread them on the garden as mulch, stockpile them for next year's garden. They're very valuable. And as long as you can see the grass blades for those little leaf pieces, size of a quarter, they won't hurt the lawn. But the big leaves like those Norway maples and oaks, you want to shred those up. A couple of days will be okay. But you know when you leave the kids' swimming pool on the lawn, what happens to the grass? We just don't want to continually do that.
Okay. How do we grow smart? That's one thing that's important for us in terms of the heights and
you bet.
Like
so when you're renovating your garden, look for native plants. Native plants are wonderful, and nativars, which are cultivars of native plants that may be a little more contained in size. So you're adding beauty to your landscape.
I see a lot of these.
This is liatris, which florists, you'll find that in a florist shop, is great for bees and hummingbirds. Leave the puffy seeds. Then coneflowers, probably the most popular.
Love those.
You know who else loved those? The butterflies.
Yes.
We had so many butterflies from those coneflowers this
Isn't
year.
it amazing? And then leave the seed pods up. And this is a bumblebee on vervain, and bumblebees are struggling, so we want to get those, take care of them as well.
I like bumblebees.
Now these are some of the corridors that are being planted under utility lines, transmission lines by American Transmission Company. So they work with their contractors, and after vegetation management or they've had some construction, they'll work with their environmental contractor to put seed mixes in that feed the pollinators. Things that are great for not only monarchs, and they really tune into where the monarchs are migrating, so they make sure to put plenty of milkweed in those mixes, but they're looking for pollinator-friendly plants. Plus, native plants recover. If they have to go in and do any clearing or any maintenance, those native plants will recover much more quickly than our cultivated plants do.
75% of all plants around the world depend on pollinators.
Exactly. So we can follow ATC's lead. They have these long areas that they're really making a big difference, and we can join in by growing smart. Even if you don't have utility lines on your property, make your garden and landscape beautiful and help the pollinators. Like you said, weren't the butterflies great to watch?
They were beautiful.
And the bees and all of that.
I didn't get any hummingbirds. I tried, but next
Don't
year.
give up,
Maybe
right,
next
next
year.
year.
I love hummingbirds.
All right, here's how you can download a free ATC Grow Smart Pollinator Guide and the Planting Guide. It's got a list of all those pollinator attracting plants. It's atc-growsmart.com. And if you want to go meet Melinda, you can check out the Milwaukee Nary Fall Home and Remodeling Show. That's going on Saturday, October 13th at 2 o'clock. She'll be there presenting at the State Fair Park.
And I'll have some pollinator guides to give out there as well.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, Melinda.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you too.
much.